Okay, so this is the same thing. We're just going to, instead of moving the snare rhythm, the long notes to the bass drum, we're just going to play it all in the snare and just kind of lean into those accents. Probably conceptually a better way to think of this, rather than playing louder on the accented notes, is to really take your unaccented note volume down. Definitely having that ability to play loud and soft is going to open up your playing a lot. Certainly, if you listen to any recordings, you definitely can hear a pretty wide range of dynamics on just the snare drum, so don't be afraid to mix it up even more than the sort of binary way I was playing it, loud or soft. You can kind of have a bunch of different gradations between that. Okay, what else do we have? Alright, this is where it starts getting a little tricky. This is an exercise, to be honest, you're my guinea pig. I've never really thrown this at somebody, but I've experimented with it a little bit and found that it's helped my bass drum coordination out quite a bit. All right, what it is basically we're going to read a swing line on the bass drum. So we're going to do kind of what we did earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and so on and so on. But now we're going to play all of the triplets in the bar with our with our hands. So we're going to play 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, while we're reading the rhythms with the foot. Okay, now here's what this is kind of doing. I've noticed with my bass drum playing and some of my students is that the coordination is sometimes not all that great. We're used to playing a lot of stuff with our hands, but our feet, maybe we don't get into the mix enough to make sure we're polishing our phrasing. So this kind of opens up a way to isolate it, and it's a little tricky at first, and let's see if I can even do it. A couple bars of just triplets up front. Oh, we just did the triplet overlay. We can also apply these little comping exercises to a straight eighth series of grooves and whatnot. The first one being just a basic rock beat, right? If we're playing all the 8 notes in the bar, snare on 2 and 4, and read the line with the bass drum, the variety and the quick moving transitions sometimes keep your foot off guard, and that's not a terrible thing, right? It's hard to really lock into a pocket if every measure is different, so that ability is kind of helpful. Just cymbals and snare. Here we go. Okay, straight 8 note thing, or straight 8 note idea. Also, on the front of straight 8 notes and straight 8 note grooving, I have a couple beats I want to show you. The first one is the Bossa Nova, and I'm going to play it for you. I don't have it written down, but it's very easy. Bass drum is on 1, the and of 2 and 3, the and of 4, so basically your feet are going to be playing Okay? Ride cymbal is on all the eighth notes. So, okay? Cross stick is going to be on 1 and a 2 and 4, then 2, and then the and of 3. Okay, I'll play that a few times. Again, I didn't write it out. You're going to be able to pick this up, and then we'll talk about what we can do with this. Okay, 1, 2, ready, and. Okay, so why am I showing you this? That foot pattern is one that we're going to use while we're playing through rhythms like this, and also out of a more soloistic snare drum book. You know, some of these translate very well, sometimes not so much. But keeping that ground rhythm going, and there are a few other ones that we can use also against different, maybe more complex things you're going to do with your hands, can really tie in your time and make you just your internal clock more secure, to where you don't have maybe the pushing and pulling against the metronome. Okay, I just had a thought. We're going to try this. Same thing, reading the line with the cross stick against our bossa groove. So a couple bars of just the bossa. Actually, I do 4 bars of bossa. It's a 2-measure phrase. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. We're going to use the foot pattern with some different stuff that's maybe a little more interesting and a little more of a little more challenging. Okay, but that's a good place to start. Definitely to internalize that groove. That's one you're going to really want to have down. That boom, tick, boom, tick, boom. Another series of exercises, just real quick, that you could maybe do would be to play just right, left over it, or even a paradiddle in quarter notes, which is a little confusing just for the first second, but then it kind of ties itself in pretty easily. So, fair on the metronome. So paradiddle just with quarter notes. Switch to 8s. Kind of climb back down again too. I'll kind of tinker with that one just because it's a decent little warm-up.